In this video demonstration, we're going to look at how to personalize your storyline training using variables and text entry forms. So we have two slides here. We have one slide where I want to put a text entry box so that I can collect a user's name, and then I want to be able to use their name later on in the training to make it a little bit more personalized and not just so generic. So when they come to this page, I want to display their name up here. So right now I have a little placeholder, but we'll be looking at it, how to store their name in a variable and then output it here. So first, let's go set up our text entry box. So to do this, we go up to the Insert tab. We go over to Input, drop that down, and we go to Text Entry Field and select that. I'm going to put the cursor where I want to start it, and I'm going to hold the left mouse button and then just drag and then let go of the left mouse button when it gets to where I want it. So now we have our text entry here, but it's very generic looking. So what I want to do is I want to change the appearance of it a little bit. So since it's selected here, I can go up to the Format tab, and we've got a bunch of different options here. But what I want to do is I'm going to select this one. Just puts a little blue outline around it. Now, say if this was the fill color was, in this case, it's very white, and so I want to dull that a little bit. So I'm going to go to Shape Fill, drop that down, and you can select from any of the color options that Storyline provides you. I'm going to select a gray. Okay, so we have the look of our text box. It's set up the way we want it. We can type in here. We can type directions. And if we look over in the trigger menu, you'll notice that it automatically sets up a trigger, and it also automatically sets up a variable. So what this says is it says set text entry is the variable name, and equal to typed value when the control loses focus. So focus is when my cursor is clicked in here, that has focus. So that's the focus. When I click out of here, that's when it loses focus. So what this is saying is once we click in here, once they type their name and they click somewhere else, at that point, that's where it loses focus, and that's where it's going to commit the value that's in this box to the variable that we set up. So what I want to do, I want to set a custom variable up. I don't want to use the default text entry. It's important that as you are creating variables that you use descriptive names for those variables, because it makes it easier as you get more and more variables in your project. It makes it easier to determine what variables are storing what values. So definitely use descriptive names when you're creating your variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to my variable manager, and I'm going to select the plus button, and I'm going to create a variable, and we're going to call it user, and it will be text. It's going to be storing text values, and we're not going to put anything for default value. We're just going to leave it empty and select OK. Okay, so now I'm going to set the text field so it's using that variable we just created. I double click that, I drop down the menu, and I find the variable user that we just created. Select that and hit OK. So now we can see that it's using that variable. So now we have this page set up. We have a way to collect the user's information. Now let's look at how we display that information. So we're going to go to our other slide, and I'm going to click my cursor to where I want that information to be displayed. I'm going to take out this placeholder. So I want the output to be right here where my cursor is. So I'm going to go up to Insert. I'm going to go over to Reference, select that. And it brings up our variables. I'm going to go down and select the variable we created called user. Select OK. And you'll notice now that Storyline's put the variable name in there, and it's surrounded it with with percent signs. So that's how Storyline displays their variables. A percent sign at the beginning, and then the name of the variable, and then a percent sign at the end. So now if we preview this, what should happen is we should be able to enter our name in the text field, and then it'll store that value into the variable called user when it loses focus, and then it will display it here on this page where we set up the variable reference. Okay, so let's test this out. I'm going to test the scene so it shows both slides. Okay, so we type our name here, select submit, and we have it displayed right there. So it's working. Okay, so that is how you can easily personalize a Storyline course using text entry fields and variables. All right, hope this has helped. Take care.